Welcome to another edition of the E-Spot with Camille. The E-Spot is your location for the latest in entertainment, beauty, and design from the people who make it. Thanks for joining.
And we're back with the beautiful Boyd beauty, Brittany Traylor, who is the queen of all the stuff we need to know about secretly, or not so secretly. She's sharing all the tea early this morning.
So
I'm
happy to
so
be
happy to
here.
have you back. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
So let's get right into it because the girls and guys need to know because everyone in Hollywood has had this glow up, it seems like,
It's
or
happening.
not like glow up for, somebody that's not like us. So tell me, what is the most requested treatment right now?
Most requested treatments right now that we're seeing like all over are non-invasive treatments. So it's always the treatments that are like, what can I do on my lunch break? What's fast, quick, yet efficient? And we're seeing a lot of biostimulators. So people want to use what they already have and get that collagen, get that glow, and they want to be poreless.
I remember when I used to work at the Clinique counter, we had just came out with this foundation, which no longer exists, but it was like pore minimizer or something. Like everybody has pores. Like, how do you close pores? How do you with the foundation close up skin? And so it's so interesting that you started with that nobody wants pores. Where do you think that trend comes from? Because I know it can keep your makeup from looking smooth. So is that
Yeah.
the main reason they're like, I don't want pores, or is it more to it? Like it's causing the sweating and the oily, or something more to it?
Yeah, no, you're right on point. So it kind of is twofold, right? So people don't want pores because if you are an oily girl, your pores are a little bit more pronounced. If you have acneic skin or pigment, it kind of stands out more against the pores. So it's twofold. Like if you want to be makeupless, you want your skin to look smooth, snatched, effortless. If you're wearing makeup, you want it to look super smooth as well. So it's kind of twofold in the sense of like, how do we make this smooth? So if you notice, even down to makeup primers, everything is about smoothing and like consistency and radiance. Like it's all in the name of being poreless.
I get that. And you used a word I haven't heard before as far as using their own. What was it again?
Yeah, biostimulators. So
Biostimulators. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so what it did.
So you're going to hear the word Sculptra a lot, which is a biostimulator. So it's not a HA filler like a Juvederm or Restylane type of filler. It is safe for the face and it's safe for the glutes. It also fixes hip dips. So you can do a lot with Sculptra. Radius is another biostimulator. So acts as an injectable, essentially no downtime. Takes a little longer for the result, but it goes into that collagen and says make more. And so your body is reproducing it. It lasts pretty much about almost 2 years, year and a half to 2 years. Yeah.
Like we love a product that has a longevity to it as well, because
Yes, we
it's not
do.
something you have to keep repaying for. It may be a bigger price tag in the beginning, but it's
Right.
going to make it worth its while. Unlike like a lip plumper lip gloss that may last the 2 seconds you notice it when it first starts tingling, and then the rest of
Uh,
the day you're like, wait, where my lips go?
I need to reapply an hour later.
Then you can buy the $2 glosses at the beauty supply store after that part. You know what I'm saying?
Don't
So
sleep on the $2
sad.
glasses.
I'm so glad my daughter's friends hit me to that, because I was like, I don't know, man. It might just be Vaseline in a tube.
They're keeping
Wrong.
you updated. They're
Wrong.
keeping you updated.
100%. It's not everything is about the price, but I
Thank
do.
you.
Tell me a little bit, because when I first learned about Sculptra, it was something for people who were like losing like fat in their skin, or not fat in their skin, fat in their face.
Yeah.
But it was just more of less like trying to replump their skin and so on. So
Yes.
tell me, or like maybe for medical reasons, they were on certain medications that depleted them. So share a little bit like what kind of results people are getting, because with these different products as well. Because a lot of times people will say, oh my God, I can't believe you got Botox in your lip. I'm like, actually, I got a lip flip above it. It's not a filler. So they know the brand names, but they don't know
Yes.
exactly what the results are with them.
You hit the nail on the head. We hear these terms and brand names, and it's like, I want that, but we don't know what that actually does. And usually there's a series of different types for different reasons. So with the biostimulators, think of it as my great PA likes to say icing on the cake. So you can still have filler, you can still have Botox. It's not going to disturb anything that's there. If anything, it's kind of like the icing on the cake. It kind of meshes everything together. So if, let's say you had cheek filler, you're like, oh, this is looking a little cheeky, a little bit more cheeky than I like. You can put Sculptra in there.
Bicycle seat face. They're going to even it out so you're not staring.
Angular, if you will. So, and it kind of softens. Sculptra is beautiful in the temples. It's beautiful in the cheek area. You can do jawline. It really gets in there and just tells the body, like, let's just kind of smooth this all over. Also with Sculptra, my favorite thing is you get the Sculptra glow. So after about 4 to 6 weeks, you have this glow where you're like, oh, that was my sole reason for trying Sculptra at first. And then I was like, oh, this is beautiful. So the rule with Sculptra is you need a vial for every decade of life. So I am allegedly in my late 30s. And so that would be 3 vials. And that's not all at once. That's over a couple of weeks. And so, and then you can do maintenance treatments with that. You can explore other areas with that. But it's beautiful because we're seeing a lot of patients and people that are doing GLP-1s, Ozempics, Wegovy, and with rapid fat loss, sometimes that can deplete the face and it can just give you pre-jowling, things like that, where patients are like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize like this would be not a consequence per se, but could just be a little bit of an adverse effect. And that can happen to anyone. So Sculptra is a nice way to rebuild and still look really soft and natural.
No, can you talk a little bit more about that? Because not everybody, I'm not one of them, but a lot of people are on GLP-1s and I'm jealous. I'm not hating. I'm jealous. Okay. I want to be very clear because I'm not good. People can inject me all day long. I cannot inject myself. I am having like the worst nightmares the entire time thinking about it because I had to even after I had my last surgery, because I had a pulmonary embolism before, I had to inject like blood thinners, and that's like life-saving stuff.
Yes.
Already I would look like a pin cushion. So the idea of sticking anything in there was just like never again, right? So
Yeah.
I'm curious, like what, like, again, I'm jealous, but at the same time, like you can almost see like from like sometimes in their neck, sometimes in their face. So share a little bit about how they can even that out. So Sculptra is a good one. What other things should they do?
Absolutely. Sculptra is a great one. Again, everybody's different. So I've had patients that have lost 70 pounds and nothing's happened to their face. I've had patients that's lost 30 pounds and they're like, oh my God. It just kind of depends on how your body like takes it on, the GLP-1 on. Another great thing, we always talk about her neurotoxins, your Botox, your Dysport, Xeomin, Daxify. Those are quick yet effective treatments. If you have something coming up and you're like, I need to do a quick fix on whatever's happening, you can lift with Botox, you can smooth, you can snatch, so there's a lot of things that you can do with it that doesn't have to be super invasive, or like if you're not ready to go filler or, other routes, that's a nice way to treat those issues.
Now, going back a little bit, because since Sculptra does last like 2 years,
yeah,
I always tell people, because they're like, oh, you don't need to get anything done, or I hope you're not going to look like them crazy people. I'm like, here's the thing. You can only tell bad treatments. You can't tell the good. Like, that's the whole point. Like, if you go natural, you can't ever tell. So is there like something people could try, just to try before they buy type of thing, where they can try maybe something that's not going to last as long just to see if they like the result of it? Or is everything going to be about a year or 2 years?
Oh, no. So again, back to your neurotoxins, those are quick. Neurotoxins usually take 15 to 20 minutes to get injected in the office. You got 2 full weeks before you see the complete result. So at the 14-day mark, that is your result right there. That gives you options to do more. So I always say dose is duration. So if you want something, your neurotoxin to last a full 3 to 4 months, which is FDA approved for, you're on the right track. If you are like, let me just try a little bit in my glabella, which are like 11s, let me just try 20 units there and just see. That's a nice way to see. It could last you a good 2 months and you're like, oh, I really like that. I'm ready to do my whole forehead. And then you can escalate.
I know. I did the baby talks the first time around. I was like, I'm an actor. I still need to be able to emote and show emotions. Yes. The second time I was like, make it, I don't want to feel nothing. I don't want to move. I want to have like eyebrows up to here, like the whole thing. Seeing the contrast, I was like, oh yeah, I love this.
I am a secret. I am a frozen forehead girly. I like to not have a lot of I can raise my eyebrows, but we're not crinkle.
That's the thing. Like, it's also like having poker face or getting rid of the RBF face, you know? So, because I'm one of those that you can see my entire emotions, and maybe you don't need to see it in such loud volume. Like, it tunes it down a little and more mute. So I can,
Absolutely.
yeah. For people who may be like, because you mentioned about if you have something coming up, what are some other great treatments that they can do? Like, obviously, some things take longer because we were talking about this a little bit off air yesterday. Like some of the lasers or so on, they might take months before you're not months. Oh, yeah. One was like 3 months, but for some,
Yeah.
it's only a couple weeks. So, what would be the things like if you have a red carpet event or you got high school reunions happening? What would be your best suggestions on looking into the shorter recovery time ones? And then for those who are like, I'm planning my wedding for next year and maybe it's the second or third, no judgment. So they might have a little bit more they need to lift for that party. What would you recommend? Because you work with, and I guess we should give him his flowers too. You work with like the top face guy in the world.
I do. He's awesome. Very knowledgeable. Shout out to Dr. Boyd. So quick treatments, things that you can do. When I think quick, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's a month and a half out. Class reunions coming up. What can I do? I always say a good facial is the starting point because you can get a good clean out of the skin, revitalize, and just see like, oh, my skin is bright. It does look healthy. Adding a dermaplane to that. Have you had a dermaplane?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've only had microneedling, but tell me more.
Yeah, microneedling's on my list for short term too, because you can have a little redness for that week, and then the next couple of days you're like, oh, I look snatched. It's a nice way to get snatched as well. Dermaplaning is when there is a medical grade scalpel and they remove the vellus hair, peach fuzz. It just allows the skin to breathe. And sometimes if you have more hair, like if your hair does, like outer areas of your face. I am too, pretty much on the sides, like, have a little mustache. It just cleans all of that up. It allows skincare to get deeper into the skin, and it just allows the skin to absorb more light, smoother texture, all that. You compare it with a facial. So that's like a quick 1-2 treatment. Like if you don't have time to do anything else, you can do a lot with just that. Long term, I would say microneedling. We have radio frequency microneedling. So I don't know if you've heard that. So that has a little bit of a heat to it. So I would say with that, everybody kind of reacts different. So give yourself a little bit more time. I would say maybe 2 full weeks. And then you want to get a couple under your belt. So with the radio frequency, we say a series of maybe like 3. That is probably one of my top ones, or BBL Moxie. I have not had a BBL Moxie yet. It's great for retexturing the skin, fine lines and wrinkles, hair growth. If you're having issues with hair is really popular right now for men and women. More hair in 2025 than I've ever seen. And that really helps with lifting and tightening. And so that's a nice way if you're not ready to go to the injectable route or surgical route, where you can still maintain what's already yours back to that like more natural appearance, if you will.
Yeah. No, that's one thing. When you mentioned BBL, initially I was like, ooh, that's like the IPL that everybody can use, as opposed to IPL, there's only a certain skin. Fitzpatrick scale that can use it. Can you share a little bit about what's the difference between IPL and BBL? Or at least who's safe to use either, or just a little bit more detail? Because when you hear these stories of people getting burned by lasers, it's like, did they have the right laser for you? Did you just go out in the sun before you went in? Like, what are some of the things they should be wary of?
Absolutely, Camille. I mean, the biggest one that you just mentioned is, have you had sun exposure? Everybody swears, oh, I haven't had sun exposure, because you're not like holding your armpit up to the sun. But if you have a swimsuit on, you're laying out, the sun doesn't have to be out for you to have exposure per se. So making sure that you are meeting with a trusted laser technician, medical provider, nurse injector, doctor is essential. You have to be very cautious of Fitzpatrick's, otherwise skin tone. So some people are like, oh, I could do this laser and it might not be safe, or the settings might not be as high, or you might not have the result right away. I would say for IPL, lighter Fitzpatrick's, I should know my Fitzpatrick scale better, but I think it's 1 through 3 for IPL.
I believe
BBL. Okay. BBL, I think the highest Fitzpatrick is a 4 or 5. I felt like 6 was a little teeter. I think it's a combination, you would have to see the person going, don't tan and try to get laser. That's another thing. Not just don't tan at all, but don't try to tan and go get a laser because that is very, very dangerous. Make sure you're just honest about medications that you're on, things that you eat. If you are in the middle of a diagnosis, say that because that might be something where it's a like, not a no, but like, let's just get a second opinion or have something from your doctor that you're like, okay, you know what, you are clear to do that. Same thing with chronic illnesses. Those all should be disclosed because lasers are heat. And that's really important.
No, that's a very good point because we were talking yesterday off air. Sorry, we had our own girly time. But we were talking about how like a lot of times women don't even know they have a chronic illness. So
Yes.
it's really important to make sure you get your blood work before you maybe even get any treatments done, just to make sure it's not a contraindication or just that it's important for them to be completely aware of your medical history. Because people are like, oh, it's cosmetic. It must not interact. But you were saying it's important to know those things just so they know maybe they dial it back a little bit just to make sure you won't have a reaction to it or have a flare from it and so on.
Absolutely. And it could be something so simple as just a medication that requires you to maybe wait or you have to take it. You can get the treatment at a certain time. And people just don't think about that. You're excited about the treatment, which is totally normal. You're like, let's get it done.
Yeah. Like you definitely don't want to be on blood thinners getting microneedle. You might a couple, just like you would with your dentist, you would be off of it for a few days or maybe weeks. I don't really know.
Yes.
But yeah, like just same kind of rules with that. Now,
Absolutely.
there's been some titter tatter about all the different from like TV shows that have been disclosing how dangerous it can be to go to like people are traveling to different places, or it could be someplace right there in their own hometown that maybe it's not a board certified plastic surgeon. I know you don't know this life because you work for the absolute best, but sometimes it's like a random gastroenterologist or something that is their medical director who has no clue about the face, just may know some about skin. What kind of warning signs would you say for people to look out for when choosing a provider?
Great question. I feel like I'm immersed a little bit in this life because I have patients that either call us and they're like, is this a reputable place? Or they're asking the right questions. So if you are going to a med spa, you're going to a doctor's office, if you're asking questions, it kind of starts with the consult on the phone. At the front desk, if you say, hey, I'm coming in, I'm interested in this procedure, and they're a little hesitant or they can't answer questions thoroughly, or they don't say, hey, you know what? I don't know that answer. Let me call you back with more information. That's sort of a red flag because if they're advertising it, it's on their Instagram, it's on their TikTok. People are coming in for this treatment day in and day out. They should know some of these things. So I would say ask the right questions. Excuse me. Ask the right questions. If you're now to the consultation portion, if you are like, oh, I'm interested in filler, and they're like, oh, they just come in and this is the filler. Okay. You want to know what kind it is, what brand. You can ask to see the box. That's totally normal. Every filler has a lot number. You can ask to see a box. That's not uncommon. No one should give you pushback about that. I will also say, do your research on the provider or the person that you're looking to see. There's lots of reviews. If you're out of the country, you can get the same information. You can see reviews. You should be able to maybe go look at Real Self. That's a website that I like to use if I'm looking for a different type of doctor or treatment. You can actually narrow it down to the treatment itself. Like if you say, oh, you know what, I'm looking for a breast augmentation, who's the best in Virginia? You should be able to go in there, look it up, and you'll see from real patients and they're verified patients. So those are a couple ways to kind of make sure, like, am I making the right decision? And I will also say, don't go based on price. Cheaper is not better. Careful with Groupons, just making sure things are authentic. Yeah.
Groupon. I remember because I'm a Facebook mom. So there's always these comments about, I got this off of Groupon and now they're not answering the phone. Well, so it's almost at the point, like if you bought it from Groupon, that could be a red flag in itself, or that they're advertising on Groupon.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like,
it's so important that the place that you go will answer the phone or respond to a question or an adverse event. I can't tell you how many times even like reputable places don't answer the phone or they don't have what you need to reverse a adverse event.
That's scary too, because most of the times people don't have an adverse reaction, but if they do, the last thing you want to do is to try to track down your doctor to see where, like what's going on with you, or if there's something you should be concerned about. Or maybe you just like you said, it's sun exposure. You're like, oh, I just had this treatment done. Am I okay to go outside? Like
Yeah.
not always do you want to read 3,000 FAQs that they might have on their website.
Right.
So I did that.
Yeah. And when you're dealing with adverse events, time is of the essence. Like minutes, those things really matter.
So I have to say, because you work for the top, what are some of the things that you're like, we talked about the most requested, but what would you say is your favorite for clients to get, because they're going to be super excited about their results? Like maybe it's one of those things that you don't hear as much about, because I feel like a lot of people hear about Botox. They may not know exactly what it is, but they hear about that one. Is there other things that people are like, oh my God, I'm so excited. This lady just booked this. She's going to look amazing afterwards. Or guy. Sorry, everybody's going to know.
Everybody's doing all the things.
You're going to know.
I'm actually really proud of the guys. The guys are coming in way more. Oh, that's a tough one. Let's see. I'm going to say something that's going to sound really basic, but it's my favorite. It's my favorite, and it makes the most impact. Skincare. And you know why? Because your skin is going to see it every single day. And it doesn't have to be so complicated. I know we were in the era of a 30 routine skin. Let's just put it all on and just see what happens. But it truly touches your skin every day, probably several times a day. And you're going to see an impact. Like I tell patients, I'm like, okay, I know they're like, oh, okay, I got to do this regimen and I got to follow this. I say, take a picture from day one. Take a picture in 2 weeks. Take a picture in 4 weeks. At that 6-week mark, you see change. If you've done nothing else, you still see a change.
Is there a particular product that you always you see the most results with?
I love a pigment product. One of my favorite products right now. You can use it on the face and on the body secretly. Is Alastin A-Luminate. Chef's kiss. Safe for every skin tone. It is a product that helps with pigment, but it also helps with texture, lines, hyperpigmentation. Girlies that have a little darkness in between our thighs, if we're a little thicker and our thighs rub together. It's just so nice. It feels like a serum. It's not heavy. You don't have to use anything else with it. And you look stunningly radiant. It's lightweight. It's a nice investment.
Okay, writing that one down. Make sure you get that was Alastin with an A.
Yes.
Look it up. And what was the second product? I'm sorry.
No, so it's Biostimulators is the brand, and A-Luminate. A-Luminate is the product.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I hadn't heard of it before, so I'm going to be doing my Google search for that myself. Now, so we talked about skincare. We talked about some routines. Let's talk a little bit about, I mean, I know. Well, no, I don't know. I'm assuming you didn't treat any of these people, so we can talk about it just like on the surface level. But there's always these, I mean, I love seeing these TikToks where people are like, ooh, they had this, and this done. What are some of the things that when you're looking at people, you're like, ooh, I can tell she had this done, and she's trying to say it's yoga or water or living life better. We don't have to name names, but are there certain things when you look at people, you're like, this is what they had done? Or do you have that? Do you do that?
I do. I like to know what people had done. And sometimes if I can't figure it out, I love it even more because that means it's great work.
Exactly. That part. But so I'm gonna start naming names, but like with Lindsay Lohan, like her glow up is amazing. Cause first of all, like all the freckling gone. And I'm like, yeah, that's not just water.
No, that's not just water.
No, I gave up alcohol.
No, it's definitely not that.
Yeah. So for girls that may have that issue, what would you recommend for them?
For
freckling and just like her texture was really bad. I'm sorry, not really bad, but it wasn't for her. It didn't make sense. Yeah. So
yeah, I would say again, it's one of those. Look at your lasers. Look at your pigment products. Your retinol. Retinol is a holy grail of anti-aging. So if you're someone that's struggling with a lot of texture, even acne, get you a nice retinol. Get a good cleanser and use that retinol and learn what your skin kind of likes and tolerates. Sometimes it takes time, but I think skincare-wise, you can do so much with a BBL and a Moxie. that resurfaces, and it doesn't have a lot of downtime. Now, Lindsay Lohan, I know that there was something surgical, and I think there's lots of filler and Botox too, but it looks beautiful. It looks effortless,
Yeah.
and we're all trying to figure out what it is. That's a good sign. That's
Yeah.
great work.
Yeah. I mean, you bring up a good point because they're like, you're saying it's probably surgical, but it's also so natural that she still looks like herself. It just looks like her prior to all the damage she did to her skin in her 20s and 30s, living her best life, having, like a lot of people do, having a lot of fun, and took it on the face. Now, speaking of bad work, Mr. Drake, what was it? Why did he post that picture as if we weren't going to see the back? If you're going to do the front, do the back too. You can't have party in the front or business in the front,
Business in the front.
the back. He, like, when they showed that video of him running and everything looked jiggly, but in the front it was all like muscle, or he did the abs. But I know you're not a body guy, but still, or you don't work for a body guy, but still, I'm curious, what would your suggestions? Because you told me yesterday who people should go to. So you know nothing on air.
I don't know a ton about body, but I do have a favorite doctor that I like to watch. I'm just going to name drop him. It's Dr. Jason Emmer. Jason Emmer. He's fabulous. Like, when you talk about full body sculpting and contouring, I think he embodies that because he looks at each body kind of individually. So it's not cookie cutter. So I feel like if Drake had went to Dr. Emmer, he would say, oh, you know what? We got to do your flanks. We need to do your back as well. Or here's something that we can do to kind of make it all look cohesive. And yeah, Drake.
Right. Obviously, he's been having a bad couple of years, but
rough.
But I was like, dude, you're posting in front of your bar with tons of carbohydrates. Like, nobody who has a body like that naturally would be drinking all of that or have all of that on display. But also, like, as someone who once tried to, I'll just say it. So back in my pageant days, I would like contour my abs to make it look more defined.
Absolutely.
But I never thought about doing the sides. So there was one time I was looking at a picture of me. I was like, Lord, I look like a canned ham, like, or like, a string ham in a way where it's like, I only put the strings in the front.
I don't believe that.
Being recognized games, dude. I mean, I was still like a 0. So it wasn't like I was whatever, but it's still like recognized game on that one. I was like, oh yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. And that's why your eye went right to it. Cause you're like, I see what's happening back there.
Yeah. You should have did more. And you should have did some Sculpt Neo too. On the sides and the back, or I don't even know if they could use for that, but I had it done on my abs and I was like, yeah, every woman who has the diatus recti, if I can suggest anything, get Sculpt Neo, because they were like, oh, there's nothing you could do for that besides a tummy tuck. And I was like, I will never do that after having my C-section. Other stuff, I was like, I'm too scared of the recovery part of it because it's long. They're cutting all the layers and it's a lot. And there's a lot that can go wrong. Not saying that it will, but it's just, yeah, that helped so much. And it's been years and I've had surgery since then and it still has held up. So
wow.
Just a suggestion there for you people out there. But let's see, there was something else. Oh, the Jenners. Because first of all, I had never heard, go with Kylie Jenner. Oh, you're still not a body person, but we'll just throw it in anyway. But I don't know if you've heard, because we talked about breast augmentation. I have never heard of half muscle, half above the skin, above the muscle implants before. Had you ever heard of that before Kylie said that's what she did?
No, I have heard of under the muscle, yes, because I heard that it was supposed to be like a better result and like safer. Mm-hmm. But I know implants have changed over the years dramatically. So I'll be honest, I can't say that I'm like super knowledgeable about the difference of like which one is better, but I've heard with the results, you get it better with under the muscle.
Yeah, same. I've only heard of that. So I was like, girl, it's something new. Don't do it, kids. If you hear something new that doesn't make sense, don't do it. Find out from your doctor what's best for you to do. Don't just go in there like, I want to look like this, because they don't even look like that in real life. Okay, it's airbrushed, it's lighting, it's smoke and mirrors. But her face, even, like we all saw, I never watched the show, but I've seen pictures and memes and GIFs. Yes. I don't know. My daughter's she'll never see this, but if she did see this, she probably would laugh at me for saying it all wrong. So sorry, Gen Xers. I grew up with MySpace. What, like, you see such a big before and after. And I was on another podcast and he was like, and she's trying to sell lip kits. That's what's making her lips look like that. what would you say for someone who maybe is, I wouldn't say ugly duckling because that's rude, but I already said it. So here we are. But what would you say would be like the best glow up people could have where maybe they don't have the lips or they're going on a reality show for a Love Island or something and want to, like, how far in advance should they book those kinds of treatments out? And what would you say overall, how to pace it out? Like if they need to get their lips done, their nose done, and like their chin and maybe
Yeah.
some other stuff done. Do you
Yeah.
recommend doing it all at one time? Is it something that you should like see the results of one first before you do the next? Because that might even out the face some. Like from working with Dr. Boyd, have you seen like a kind of a pattern to the madness on when you should get those kinds of treatments done, or get it all done at one time and just show up to prom branded?
Absolutely don't know.
What is it? Like you might grow into it because I was kind of a late bloomer. That's why I wanted to say a late bloomer, not ugly duckling. Are you saying?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Late bloomer, no, yeah. I would say if you have something coming up that requires you to be in 4K, you're going to have cameras on you. Don't do all of anything at one time. So when you're thinking injectables, pace it, slow and steady. Leave yourself time for tweaks. So honestly, if I were going on Love Island, which I would not be going on Love Island, I would embarrass myself and be cringy. Really.
laser hair removal everywhere with those thongs on. I'm like, God, no way.
Oh, I would have started lasering like 2 years ago to get on Love Island.
See, these are the kinds of pacing people need to know. 2
But
years for laser. Got it.
that probably is being dramatic, but not really. But with filler, Botox, those types of things to get ready for a show, give yourself 8 months to a year.
Okay.
When you think about different types of fillers, lip fillers, things have to settle. Things take time. I know we are in a world of instant gratification. I want my lips plump and I want them plump today. That's great. They're going to be plump. But in 2 weeks, you may say, oh, you know what? They're a little asymmetrical. I need a touch up. Leave yourself time for just those touch ups. Time with your provider to say, hey, you know what? I don't know that we need cheek anymore. Let's do a little Sculptra in your temples and just kind of see where that takes us. That gives you time to kind of buffer. You get used to your face and your results and see, do I like what this looks like? How's my profile looking? So you can see yourself in all the different ways that other people are going to see you. Even with weddings, I don't tell brides, don't hurry up and try to do things the month before your wedding. Pace yourself. Give yourself, honestly, with being a bride, a year to year and a half. Because in that year and a half, you're like, oh, I have so much time. But if you're doing lasers and facials, and then you start to move into something non-surgical, and if we want to do surgery, that leaves you enough time to heal properly, do any little minor tweaks or enhancements that you want to add, and see how you like your face. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
No kidding. Well, I mean, even like with the different surgeries, there's swelling with it too. So it may be like you might need the time to make sure all that swelling has got dissipated. That
Absolutely.
if there is, like you said, any tweaks that need to be done or to
Yeah.
even things out or settled in different ways, give
Yeah.
yourself time for all of that to recover as well.
Also, something that we don't talk about enough is pre-treating before you have a surgery or a laser. There are things that products that you can do before all of that takes place that helps increase your results, minimize your downtime, and then just make your results look amazing. So you need 2 to 3 weeks sometimes to pre-treat. So just giving yourself that time and like not rushing it. Also, again, it's still medical, so you can still have adverse events, contraindications, but you want to give yourself that time to say, if something goes wrong, you can fix it, you can figure it out without being stressed and then having more issues because now you have stress on top of getting ready for this huge event.
Yeah, and therapy. Yeah. And therapy. Because you might, that's a lot of new power you might be getting with that new face. You might need some
Yes.
therapy so you're not wrecking havoc in the villa. Because now you're like, wait, you're not looking at me, or you're not looking at me the way you should after I spent
Yes.
thousands of dollars. Yeah.
Yes, or you think you look great, and then you get your phone back from being in the villa and you find out otherwise.
That part. I'm not going I'm not going to hurt her feelings. She's gotten enough feelings. The other person I'm not going into names because these are real people, and I'm not trying
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to
And
bully anyone. Because even when I said ugly duckling, I call myself ugly duckling because I had a rough patch when I was a kid. I had glasses
Stop
and
it.
braces my head was way bigger than the rest of my body. Like I literally looked like a Q-tip.
Same.
So
Like a bobblehead.
look, girl, we went through it. Like
You probably tell me. I'm sorry. I know you're the one asking all the questions, but your daughter is so beautiful. I feel like they missed the ugly duckling stage, or am I?
I think they set like now things are so. I mean, I can't speak for all the places, but where we live, like the kind of bullying is more like because you're not smart, more so than your looks.
Oh,
We live, everybody's an engineer or a doctor around us, So for her, she's never had to deal with bullying, but I've noticed that it's kind of like, oh, because she's so pretty, she has to almost like hide it because it's so just like
interesting.
everywhere we would go, because she had the big, beautiful hair and she's just stunning and perfect teeth. Granted, her dentist did sucker me into buying her Invisalign. We'll talk about that another day. But she didn't like the attention. And I was just like, girl, I had that kind of attention when I was your age.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me nothing. But so I do think it's surprising because, like having not grown up that way where I had to use my personality to get attention and being funny. It's like, oh, like she's super funny. She's the full package for that reason, because it doesn't really matter here, which part of me is like, well, I'm kind of glad we didn't stay in LA because maybe she would be very superficial and more kind of like the way I thought kids should be, or my daughter being my daughter, being the spot director and stuff and pageant.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. But I'm loving seeing things from her perspective because I was like, no, I mean, she got bullied, but it was more like a racial thing, but it was never anything for the way she looks. Yeah.
Oh, she's beautiful. They would be crazy.
But because I did put her in karate, taekwondo, like at a very young age, just in case. But now I'm like, her hands are so dainty and small, and mine are like huge because I had to fight. I took karate or taekwondo as well. Like I didn't have that luxury. So for her, I'm happy she could be the dainty girl she wants to be any way she wants to be, because
I love that.
Not that same pressure. There's not that social media pressure here or like the weight thing, because she's very thin anyway. But like she's never said, "Oh my God, mommy," she works out because she wants more muscles. Like, because she just thinks it's prettier to be more defined. And I'm like, it took me so long to understand that, because I started getting the Oxygen magazine back in the day, which was like for women in fitness, and they were like beautiful pageant girls, but they had the muscles, and I was like, that's what I want to do, until I messed up my Achilles heel and got ganglionic cyst in both of my Achilles heels and had to get the needle in that. I was like, never again. I'm not made for that. Yeah, now realizing, oh, you always had joint problems. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm back. Long story short, it's like, it's very refreshing, because a lot of times, like, I felt like you have to be careful of what you say about women, girls' appearances, or about your own appearance around them. And she's just like very confident in herself. She wears clothes that I would never feel confident wearing at her age. And I'm just so proud of her, because she is. Yeah. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. You can't tell me.
I love that.
Yeah. And like like the tisk girls or whatever, where they wear the super short shorts and the crop tops or yoga pants all the time, and just like showing everything all the time. And she's like baggy clothes. And then now she's in a more, like, now she'll wear like the shorter shorts and stuff like that, but it still was like she never felt pressure to. It was just at her own time, because she's like 17 now. So for most of her life, she's, even when everybody was wearing the more khaki lifestyle, she was wearing tutus to school. Like, you could never tell her what to wear. It's always,
I love that.
Yeah, I couldn't be more proud. Like, seriously, I don't know what I did right, because everybody's like, oh, she's gonna be just like you. I'm like, I hope so. And she's like the best person.
I love that.
Wish for those. Yeah, I'm really lucky.
And that also takes like a very strong personality to do that, because even with these phones, and even being allegedly 38 years old, we look at bodies. We're always looking at bodies. We're always looking to see, what is this person doing? And just not conforming to what everybody else is doing, just kind of doing your own thing. That stands out so much more, especially now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't think your mom did this to you, but my mom would always be like, I felt like my mom just had no clue her size or like even like her flirty nature she was just naturally flirty. Like it wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
Now I'm learning this because I'm like, oh yeah, she's just like that. And as a kid, I was like so embarrassed, like, oh my God, Mom. But she's like, am I the same size as her or am I bigger than? Like she just had no clue. And I remember always thinking like, I'm never going to care about my size. And then of course it was like, oh my God, why don't my pants fit? I have so many clothes from high school still. Don't judge. Because I wore baggy clothes back then. And so I can still wear them now because of this. But it's still like, because I was like, I heard from my mom, like always being concerned about her size. Sorry, Mom, I'm not trying to put you out like that. But she worked in stunts. She had to be a certain size for work, right?
Yes.
So it made sense for her to be like that. But it was also a matter of like, I didn't want to perpetuate that for myself and then to my daughter. And then, of course, I had like medical stuff where certain foods like aggravated me. So I ended up being like, oh, I can't eat that. Oh, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom, we are really thin ladies. We've always been pretty more petite, but also like I grew up and I was like, hey, I want to be curvy. I think I just told you just before. I was like, next time I come back to life, I'm coming back super thick. I'm picking like a thicker body. We always want what we don't have. And my sister, and I have a younger sister who is like so curvy. And she's like, well, you're the skinny one. I'm like, you're the curvy one. And he's always like, can we just switch? And this is girl stuff.
That's fair. Because my mom, on that same token, like when she was pregnant with me, she was 113 pounds. Full, and she looked like she was carrying a watermelon. Like it was crazy. But I saw in her medical records she was 100. I was like, golly. But she's really 5'4". I shouldn't say she's really short, but because that's average woman's height. But like for me, I was taller than her. And so like I was always like taller than her. I was always thin. But after having my daughter, because that was like the first time I could eat whatever I wanted, because I've always kind of worked in the industry as well. So I always had to it's not even like they tell you, hey, you need like we need your measurements to make sure you're not getting big. It was more like to make sure that you can fit the job, so they buy sample sizes. So it wasn't even like no one ever said, actually at Ford Modeling, when I went to them, they did tell me I was 10 pounds too big, and that crushed me. But I never was like, oh my God, I got to get on a diet because Michael Ford told me I was too big. But it was like, how much do you want to work? And so for me, being a Black girl as well, like you had to be the European sizes of things. So it messed with my head when I started getting bigger after having my daughter and stuff. Like, oh my God, this is what it's like to be on the other side. I'd rather stay there because it was so much harder finding clothes. Maybe because it was more popular, but I was like, nothing was ever in my size that was cute, and everything just like seemed to make you look even bigger because they were trying to find body parts and stuff. And I'm like, all right, nah, I ain't made for that lifestyle.
Work.
But I am very excited that for the longest time, my husband would even send me a meme, and he's white, and he would say, oh, you must be having a long day, when I would be wearing jeans because it was completely flat and just long. Like my back to my legs, like I said, I was built like a toothpick. So during the one thing that happened great during the pandemic is like, I guess from sitting so much, I finally developed a booty, and that's all I needed. I don't need anything else. Like everything else stays small, but it makes a night. Like you can't keep saying me sometimes, and it's very. I need to work. I need to pay attention, and I need to working. So some of it has to go.
You have to like tuck the booty in and like run.
Go around like I can't remember his name, Mr. Bean or something.
You have to. So we have to say you have to tuck and run.
Mm-hmm.
Tuck the booty
the other kind
run.
of tuck.
Right.
Right. Pride Month was last month, not this month.
I literally have tears.
Right. So I want to make sure that I'm considerate of your time, but I want to make sure that we do shout out how can people keep up with you and how they can get consultations with Dr. Boyd, because I'm sure he's booked out months in advance. That's the other part. Like when you're planning these things, like the best doctors, you're not gonna be able to get them tomorrow. Like you're going to have to schedule, like check their schedules too, like how soon you need to be or how late or how early can you get in?
Absolutely. So I would say getting in touch with me. I use my Instagram a lot, which is blorn629. I'm usually on there, really responsive. I am on TikTok, but I watch a lot more than I post. So Instagram is it. And I'm working on
ADHD of TikTok. I'm like, I'm too busy watching to be.
I go down a lot of rabbit hole, guys. But if you need it, just DM me. You can also go to our website at boydbeauty.com. We have a tab on there like contact us. We follow it with those usually within 24 hours. Or you can just reach out. Dr. Boyd is our double board certified plastic surgeon. I have a fabulous PA. I have fabulous injectors, and we have 3 locations. So, if you are willing to commute, or we can find you the best location for your time, let's get you a consultation. Consults are always great because people feel like, oh, I'm only going in for the consult. Well, we leave enough time for you to do treatment same day if you'd like to, depending on the treatment. If it's something non-invasive, if it's something, that we have to have you pre-treat for, we give you all the information. We tell you your date, your time. We remind you if you are looking to, bring a friend, you can do that as well. But just give a call and get a consultation because that gets you in. The wait is longer for new patients just because we do offer that service of like, you can do the consult and treatment the same day. But we would love to see you and meet you. And I have fabulous medical estheticians. Like we are a staff of, I think, 21 at this point. So we are fully loaded and we are always learning new things and getting new things in.
No, I love that because I'll look and see on your TikToks, or not your TikToks, but on Instagram Reels, like he is so funny because a lot of times I'm also like, look, if they have a lot of postings, they're too busy trying to be Instagram famous. Like some of the doctors because sometimes you see these doctors that all they seem to do is like be on. Granted, they could have a filming day where they film maybe 10 in one day and then they space it out because that's what I do with my clients. But it's also like if they're always on, you might want to check somewhere else because they might just be internet doctors. You might want to see their license. But with Dr. Boyd, I'm always like seeing you guys travel to different places for trainings and seeing all the awards he's getting from the different brands, which proves that he is not only meeting expectations, but exceeding them, he's testing out new products to see if they're worth using as well. So you get the latest and greatest with Dr. Boyd. And that's something also like whenever you're looking locally, because like I go to Blue Water Spa here in North Carolina, it's the same thing. Like they're always going to trainings. My nurse practitioner, she's always traveling somewhere, Toronto, LA, all over the place. So it's not just they're getting local knowledge, they're getting global knowledge. And I appreciate that because I don't want to have a certain look to me. I don't want to look like, oh, you look like North Carolina. I work I work for national brands. I want to look national, so I want to have the Texas face. I want to have that. So
absolutely.
So
the education is super, super important. And that's one thing that I love about who I work for is like, we're always learning something. The estheticians will come in here like, this is a new facial and we're doing it. I'm like, oh, and it's 30 steps. I'm like, oh, wait, what is that? Or they're trying to figure out a protocol and a different approach for our patient. So it could be something that's, I'll say mermaid facial. That's something new. Still learning about it. Stay tuned.
Okay,
but it's something that's popular.
Now the mermaid. I love it.
We're moving. And so it's one of those things where we're trying to figure out the best approach for our patient. And, we have 3 locations, and at all 3 locations, the patient is just different. Their needs are just different. Their ages are different. So we're always trying to take an approach and then see what's going to be the best for our patient, but also like the most bang for your buck too, because these treatments are a little pricier and it's an investment.
Yeah. Well, again, I can't thank you enough because I was like, oh, we're just going to be 30 minutes. We are 52 minutes.
I love talking to you. I love talking to you. It's
Girl, we'll have to talk more off air because I want to hear everything, and I don't want to for those who may not want to hear everything. If you guys want a part 2, you know how to comment and say all the things below, and I will make sure that I book you back again because I was like, there's so much new stuff out here. I need to call her and find out when she can be on my show so we can discuss it all. And make sure you guys watch that oh gosh, what's his name? John Oliver show. That also will give you like some warning signs of what to avoid, who to go to in your area, and just kind of give you the right questions to ask in more detail as well. I will recommend.
It's really good.
It was really good, right?
It was good. Mm-hmm.
It's putting med spas on blast, especially those chain locations that be hiring just any old body to inject you or laser you that shouldn't be doing that because they're not licensed in it and whatever. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to the eSpot.
Thank you so much.
Like, follow, and share. Make sure you go to the Dr. Boyd's page and you start liking, following, and sharing them and saying Camille sent you there. And if there's anything you want to hear or see more about, make sure you comment below because I will make sure I will ask more questions about that, find out more details. And if you want to be on the eSpot, make sure you hit me up if you're, in the beauty, entertainment, design, or somewhere in between. Thanks again for joining.
But never calmish. That was just common sense. It's splendid, girl. I'ma give you the business. Tell them the money business. The ride is tenant, so she ride me when I'm in it. I'ma be back in a minute.